boy.
Oh God.
I don't know what my only crime was being happy. That's all I did.
I hate you. Holy shit, Danny.
Hi, hey, hello. Welcome to the draft edition of the Mark It Down podcast. My name is Sergeant Daniel. I'm joined by General Producer Boy and Made Man James Gisanti, which is a secret military rank that only the elite of the elite know about. We're here to talk about the draft episode of Monday Night Raw, where very little happened. We're here for some reasons talking about it, despite how little happened on this show. But that's okay. We'll pretend it was exciting. We'll pretend it was interesting. Just real quick, on a scale of 1 to 7, how are you doing, James?
I'm like a 5. I'll take a 5. Yeah,
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm glad to hear it.
How about you?
Same scale.
Yeah, same scale.
Same scale. Probably like a 3. You know.
Oh.
I was a 2 yesterday, so that's a huge improvement. Bro, Jay, tell me about it, bro. How are they gonna not draft Braun Breaker? Like, what kind of bullshit is this? I'm right there with you. Why wasn't he drafted? But I will say, highlight of the show, I'm just going to cut to the chase right now. The most important part of the show to me is that Katana Chance and her tag team partner were drafted to Monday Night Raw. Let's go, Casey Catanzaro. Let's get some Ninja Warrior crossover here. Let's get it going. Yeah, you wouldn't know because she's a woman, and I'm here with 2 freaking women haters on the show. But
Not true.
you know, that's I mean. You really gonna defend Eric here and say he's not a woman hater?
No. Just you said 2. Unless he counts as 2, it's just 1.
Okay, so it's just you. Okay, that's weird that you're stepping up for him like that. But anyway, Eric, similar question. On a scale of 1 to 7, how important is it for you to vote?
For me to vote specifically?
Yeah, specifically you.
About a 0 because I live in New York State.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's fair. Off the scales here.
Wow, he just doxed himself.
That's true. We've never mentioned that we live in New York before, so this is breaking news here on the Mark It Down podcast. But anyway, like I said, it was a draft episode of the show. So Triple H came out to kick off the show to get that first entrance of the show pop, the selfish bastard. And he said, basically, Raw chose SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley, and I know what you're thinking, but she's the SmackDown Women's Champion, and she's gonna be on Raw. And spoiler from the past, but Bianca Belair was drafted to SmackDown, and she's the Raw Women's Championship, Raw Women's Champion, and nothing makes any sense. What are we gonna do? There's no solution to this problem. So I don't understand what's going to happen. I guess SmackDown's on Mondays and Raw's on Fridays, and that's just how it's going to be.
That feels right.
Yeah, and SmackDown with their first pick fucking blew it, SmackDown. They chose Austin Theory. What a fucking waste. Like, bro.
You should be happy.
I am happy. I am happy. I don't want to bury the lead too much here, but I'm glad that I have Gunther on Raw and Austin Theory is on SmackDown because Gunther's the main champion on Raw, and Austin Theory might as well be 24/7 champion on SmackDown. I don't give a fuck what goes on over there. But it's just a waste of a first pick, you know? The guy had the worst match of WrestleMania weekend, and like there was nothing wrong with it. It was just the worst. You know, other matches you'd be like, well, there's stuff wrong with this, you know? But that was just the worst match. One of the worst matches I've seen in his career, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, look, Jay, I don't hate Austin. It's everyone else's praise for him that brings it out of me where I'm like, he is like a C plus and everyone's acting like he's an A tier guy.
Like
You
the
know?
Miz. Like the Miz is an A-lister, but
He's better than the Miz, in some regards. Not on the mic, obviously. But anyway, Triple H. Oh well, who else got drafted? Seth Rollins did not even get to be first pick of his night, but it made sense because he got to pick Rhea because then, almost from a logistical standpoint, they actually had to think about this for a little bit and had to be like, well, we have to draft the SmackDown Women's Champion first, otherwise SmackDown would just draft her and we have no Women's Champion.
Jay
So,
makes
like-
a good point right here.
yeah, I wondered why too.
Oh
but
my
it's
God,
pretty
yeah.
obvious. It is pretty obvious though.
Why is it pretty obvious?
She is so much bigger than the group at this point. Like
Yeah, but so was
they
Roman
need-
Reigns, but they still drafted Roman Solo and Heyman together.
I guess they did that for the drama of it all with the Usos. They did that specifically for drama. If not, then they would have all been together. Otherwise, there's not really drama.
But them not exactly Judgment Day not being together, there's nothing to it. There's no story
Yeah.
to it. There's no drama to it. So you might as well just draft them because it makes them look dumb. And you know what? Real quick, let's talk about ideas. Let's have a little pitch meeting here. How do you guys feel that we make a little sketch where we're the writers or the drafters in the Raw and the SmackDown draft board room that they had showed and never went inside of? You know, we're just thinking of all these logistics and kayfabe, and we're making all these jokes about it. I think it's a great idea. I know James is on board. I know Producer Boy's a little skeptical, but it's because I'm talking too fast and I'm not elaborating too well on the creative process. But I also don't want to be here for 20 minutes. So you guys are both in, right? And we can put a pin in this for now. We'll come back to it later, right?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. So who did? Oh yeah, the Raw chose Seth Rollins. You got to choose Seth Rollins. Dude was on SmackDown for 6 months, and that was it. He's a Raw guy through and through. And then SmackDown chose Charlotte. Who gives a fuck? Like, it's a waste of a pick too. But you know, you might as well choose her because you know in 6-7 months you're gonna need someone to challenge Bianca Belair. So it might as well be Charlotte when she's back from her bi-yearly vacation. You know. So whatever, Triple H introduces Paul Heyman, who comes out to
Jesus Christ.
bury the title, the new title.
I mean, he really tried his best to not like. You could see him catching himself as he was about to say something, and then he would say something, and he would still, whatever he said, he still buried the title. Title means it's pointless.
I got so excited. I got so excited at the notion of him teasing Roman was going to go for it.
Dude,
It
Why?
made me so happy. Just because at least if he has it, it could be one like big mesh of a title situation, and whoever beats him could still say they beat Roman and they became a champion by beating
Right.
Roman, and it'll matter. But now it's like you said in our private chat, whoever beats Roman otherwise, who you don't even care.
Yeah,
So-
I'm
But
way
I-
beyond caring about that. But
I
Producer
think
Boy does because he's a fucking simp for bad storytelling.
I just
you know.
I think it would be hilarious if he won it, but I don't think that's not what's going to happen. They're just teasing it to get people pissed off.
It backfired.
Oh, you
I'm
said
pissed
one.
off that
Is
it
there a
didn't
two?
Huh?
I feel like
You said one.
yeah, you said
As
one,
if there was like multiple
Yeah.
points to follow.
and then you stopped after one.
Oh, wait. I said, oh, my bad. I didn't
Okay.
Go on.
No, it's okay. Quick sidebar, Producer Boy. If you're gonna start listing things, it's best to have at least 2 things
Okay.
to list. You know, quick note. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully no one heard that, but yeah, Heyman. I don't think he went out there with the intention to bury the title, but by him being out there, it borderline inherently
To be
buries
honest,
the title.
I think they sent him out there to make the title look good, and I just don't think that's what happened there. And I think it was to push Seth as the guy to have it. He's probably going to be the one that has it, but I don't care. I am interested. The only thing I'm interested in is to see how they have the title on Seth and don't give it to Cody until Mania.
I mean,
or how they have Seth versus Cody and have Cody lose at like SummerSlam or whatever the plan is, just to even the score, I guess. But you know,
I think that's the best way of doing it, though. Like,
But
the
how
way
do
you
they
were-
get Cody to lose though, without him just losing clean, because you don't want him to lose clean and then go against Roman in a year or two from now. Like, I know it's crazy to say that, but
I think you could heat him up again in a year or two. The whole idea is Cody needs to, like, I don't agree with the booking, but the notion is Cody needs to overcome these obstacles to get ready to face Roman. So if he's having a bad year,
that's an obstacle he's overcome 47 times.
But that was when it all seemed like it was his destiny to win. And now that you're painting this scene of him, you don't know he's going to beat Roman anymore. All these obstacles, all of these failures will add up. And if he beats Brock, it's not like he's just like on a complete downward trajectory. Like, he's still strong, but it more importantly, as much as I care about Cody, if you're going to establish this title, you got to make me care about it. So Seth beating Cody feels better for the title than it does for Cody. But I think that's the priority right now, making the belt look good.
Yeah, I believe this title should not exist.
Yes.
It is a consolation prize.
Yes.
They're not doing their best job to make it feel like it's not a consolation prize, aside from Seth Rollins, who saved the promo again and is the only one really making this title feel credible, which is why he should be the guy to win it. And if Seth is 6 months into his title reign, as much as I don't like this consolation prize title, I will care about it more 6 months into a Seth Rollins title reign than whatever Roman is doing in 6 months, because I don't give a fuck. Like, I genuinely am so disconnected from the Bloodline stuff. I'm glad it's on SmackDown still, and I'm just not gonna pay any minds anymore, and just, you know, ignore it because I don't care. There's no one interested. Like, it'll be interesting to see him finally face guys like Bobby and AJ in this title reign that he hasn't faced since he's been the tribal chief. But, like, I don't believe they're gonna beat him, and none of this matters. So, like, despite me not wanting this title to exist, this will be like my title going forward, not my champion. Oh my god! But because I will care about it more, because it'll just be a great. Seth Rollins will put on 5 match of the year contenders in this title run, and it'll overshadow everything Roman will do from now until whoever he faces at Mania next year. Bro, they could have gave Braun the strap if they called him up, but they didn't fucking call him up for some reason. Jay, I understand why you're pissed. Be fucking pissed, man. Tell us about it.
He's probably gonna win the Rumble.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. He could. I mean, I really don't know. I don't care anymore, actually. I'm so disconnected from that. But Seth did a great job of saving this promo, and he's trying his best. Like, if they give us anyone else, it will be a travesty, because
I mean, it has to be a well-known guy to make the title seem important. So
literally could be Drew McIntyre.
No, absolutely not.
It's so fun. It's so funny. Eric was so into Drew in 2020 when he won that Rumble, man. And we were having that Rumble debate like a year and a half ago. He was pushing and pushing for that, and I'm pushing for the 2018 Rumble, the Shinsuke one. So, it's okay that the winners have fallen off, but, he is so far.
I think Drew would be a good guy to take it off Seth. I think a heel Drew taking it off Seth would be good, but I also feel like whoever wins the championship also needs to hold it till Mania.
Well, yeah, Drew could also be the guy. Well, see, that's the only thing is, do you have the two simultaneously long title reigns?
I know, it's rough. It's rough. I know.
Like, especially because if Seth loses at Mania, then it's like, well, Roman's not going to lose it then too. Like, you can't have both of them lose. So if anything, he would have to lose it like in the fall, like late fall, early winter, to give whoever's going into Mania a short run. Like, you got to change that one a little more frequently. But
if I were to book it, if I were to book a title that doesn't even have a first champion, Seth, Drew, Cody versus Roman unification match.
No, I think I think Cody cannot touch this title until he's beaten Roman.
I agree. I agree, but I don't know how you get there when they're on two different shows.
He's going to win the Rumble again.
Again.
Except this time he'll do it from number 1.
I mean,
Everyone's complained about him being number 30. You know what's worse to me? I'm so sick of the person going from 1 to the end. Yep. Rhea did a great job of it this year, but Edge did a terrible job of it the year before, 2 years ago. And I'm so sick of that, which is insane to think about.
The other option is Money in the Bank, and they just shoehorn him into Roman by SummerSlam or something like that.
This can't end anywhere other than Mania. That's the problem. They've done too much with it.
Yeah.
I think there was a point. Sorry, Danny.
No, go ahead. You're enthusiastic.
I think there was a point where you could have had Roman win anywhere. Like lose anywhere. You could have had him lose at SummerSlam or at Money in the Bank or at Royal Rumble or Survivor Series.
The Castle or yeah.
All right. Ow. I think you could have done it. There was a point. Now, Mr. 1,000 Days, you have to have him lose it at Mania. Like, it's too big an event for it not to be at the biggest event. As predictable as it may be.
And you know what? If for some reason we're thinking about the casuals here who can go fuck themselves with a fork, they watched Mania and they didn't watch it. They're not watching now because they're filthy casual scum. You know, they're not in the weeds. So for them, the people who watch Mania, the Mania that you care so much about, they're just gonna remember that Cody lost last year. If they see him walk in the Mania with the title, they're gonna be, oh, what the fuck happened?
Yep.
You know, so you gotta do it at Mania. You keep Cody away from this. You give it to Seth. Maybe Drew's the guy to beat Seth. Maybe Drew's the guy to beat Orange Cassidy for the All Atlantic title. I don't know. Like, you know, maybe. You can't rule these things out. He won't be the guy to beat MJF, but you know.
The only reason I'm against it is because I agree with what you're saying, Danny, which is he can't. Going in with a title is confusing for casuals. It'd be like, what the fuck is even happening right now? But also at the same time,
oh no, I don't mean that. I don't mean that him going in with the title would be confusing with casuals. I'm just saying him losing and coming in with, like, let's say beat Roman at SummerSlam. That was my argument as to why he shouldn't beat Roman at SummerSlam. He should do it at Mania. But like, you can't win the new title.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Because that's not finishing the story. Like that is the ultimate consolation prize if Cody wins this title. No matter if he's the first champ, second champ, third champ, if he wins this new title before he beats Roman, then it is truly a consolation prize.
Unless he goes, fuck it, I'm going and winning the Rumble with this title, and then we're doing a unification match at Mania.
But then I don't care about him facing Roman if he already won a title. Like, he cannot win this title.
I'm just saying, like, he can make that argument. Like, I'm a fighting champion, because they already set the seeds. Like, Roman has the contract where he doesn't fucking ever have any matches, so Cody could be that guy.
But the problem with that notion still is, even if he says, well, I'm a fighting champion and I want the other championship, you're still saying your belt isn't enough. You're saying, I need to win that belt to prove the champion that I am. The title you have should prove the champion you are. So I'm with Danny. He just can't win this title before beating Roman. And it's going to be a long year.
Yeah, we just can't bring a new title just to have a first title match. Like, we can't do that.
I would just, I just, the problem with it is that means there's just no unification in sight.
Yeah, dude, if they invented a new title, there's obviously not a unification in sight. I feel like you should have grasped that reality a little sooner.
Well, no, because in the back of my head, I'm still thinking they want this to be the main title.
I think so too, down the line, but I don't think you could get there before Mania. And even then, I don't know. Like, they're still treating it like Roman has two titles. Like, you heard Paul saying it. This title, this title, this title. So it just, I don't know.
It makes it even worse.
Because it's one title, it's two belts, but it's one title. They're playing a little fast and loose with it, but it is listed as one championship. It's just 2 belts, which is dumb still, and they should just get rid of it at that point. Make the Universal. But the thing is, you can't make the Universal title defunct yet because that's the title that's going to hit 1,000 days.
Yep.
So this is all dumb. It was always dumb, and now it's more dumb. And if we didn't care about a arbitrary milestone like 1,000 days, we wouldn't have this problem because Cody could have just won. But anyway, to move on with the show, not that the show matters, the show didn't matter, but
Jay, and that's all that matters.
I feel like it didn't matter, Jay, because like even Jay knows nothing of note happened here. This was freaking garbage. See, I feel like Roman was garbage in 2021. He was good for 4 months in 2020, and he was good for 6 months in 2022. And that was it. I guess 2 months in 2023 if we're adding up all the math here. But Solo came out to interrupt Seth's promo. They're going to have a match later in the main event of Raw, which had no main event planned before this. No big deal here.
Danny, hold on 1 second. Eric, our faces completely covered that third title in that meme.
I know.
Okay.
But you still did it. All right. So after this, we had Olivia Morgan and Rack Rodriguez facing Bayley and Dakota Kai in a non-title match that I swear to God the graphic beforehand made me think it was a title match.
I thought it was too.
Yeah, thank God I caught one line from commentary as I was fast forwarding through the back from the commercial break that I realized it wasn't. But they basically said that Bayley went to Adam Pearce and basically begged for this match because she felt like she let her team down last week and she wanted to make it up to him. And you know what? That's good. That's good character motivation. That's good. I would have loved to see that. Wouldn't it have been nice to see Bayley like having a moment backstage where she's walks into Adam Pearce's office. She in a cocky way demands a match against the tag champs, gets denied, and then gets emotional and real. But hey, I really let my team down. I really need this to make it up to them. And please give me this match and have some sort of like character development and motivation here that we kind of still got or were told about, but wouldn't it have been nicer to have been shown it instead, especially because I think this was a great week to show that Bayley is the one that's going to be faced at the end of this. But, that's me going against the grain here. Yeah, Raw's all the tag belts. Great point. This shit makes no sense, man. What is this? This treat's bad, right? Liv was in the title picture and it was botched, so maybe cool off on it for a bit. And she's literally in a title picture, by the way, because she's a champ. So, not a great tweet. And Raquel is garbage on the main roster so far. So let's not pretend she's doing anything important here. Jay, was NXT Raquel good? Let us know. I'm sorry, producer boy, you had a note, a comment, something?
I had nothing. Raquel is awful. That's all I got.
Oh, okay. I mean,
it's better in NXT, but
I saw her matches with Rhea Ripley, and I thought those were good. But yeah, so Damage Control actually got the win because of Bayley pinned Liv Morgan. So I guess they're going to be on the card at Backlash, probably last minute addition, which is, whatever, fine. Good. Oh, Dakota had I feel like she does this move, but she doesn't do it all the time. And every time she does it, I'm like, this shit's insane, where it's almost like a code red, but instead of sitting on their back for a powerbomb position, she's like on her knees or on their back for like a flipping backbreaker, and it's insane. It's a great move. She should bust that out more often. But anyway, the heels pick up the win. They're going to get a tag title match in the future. Kevin Patrick had this terrible line on commentary where he says, this has got to put them in the conversation for a title match in the future. And it's like, bro, that's what this fucking was, bro. You guys have this thing. It's a championship contenders match. I think they're dumb. We all think they're dumb, but both WWE and AEW do them. But obviously, because what line are they jumping in this case? Who else is going to challenge for these titles? I mean, later on we'll find out. We have Katana Chance and her partner called up, whose name I do know, but for the sake of this bit, I'm pretending I don't know. to challenge in the future. But anyway, what do you guys think of this match? Did you watch it? Do you have any notes? Do you care?
I did watch it. First of all, Sup Navarro. Second of all, the match was very indicative of the whole night. It was just there, you know. It didn't wow me. It didn't offend me. It existed. I agree. I very much enjoy that move that Dakota hit, that like code red into a backstabber. But other than that, I don't even. What was the finish again? I don't even really remember the finish.
Liv hit her finisher on Dakota, but since Liv's finisher has their opponent on the rope, Bayley tagged in and then rolled up Liv.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was just standard heel affair, and I'm more intrigued that you think Bayley's going to be the face at the end of this.
I just think she needs to turn face. She's been heel for too long. It was great the first time, but since she came back from injury, it hasn't worked. So she needs to change. And what better change than to turn face again?
Yeah, but I think they're pushing for Sky to be the face, though.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, that's not going to work.
I don't think it's like a swerve or anything either. I think that's just what they're going for.
Yeah. See, but here's the thing: it's just not gonna work. Like she's never gonna. She'll be as over as Candice LeRae is.
I mean,
on the main roster.
She did well last week. I think it was last week. They had like a backstage promo, and they kind of pushed for her to be the face, and Bayley was kind of being a bitch to her, and she played it off cool. I mean, I think the crowd could get it behind her.
But that was
you see, but the thing is, they're not gonna, and it's just not gonna work. And I don't want it not to work. But that's just what's gonna happen. They can't get these women over it because they're not giving them anything. So the fans are just gonna cheer for the stars they already know. So they're just gonna cheer for Bayley. They're gonna same way they were cheering Becky when she was a heel, like the way they would cheer Sasha whether she's face or heel. The way that people will barely react to Charlotte whether she's face or heel. You know, like they're just gonna be with the stars. They know. And sorry I haven't acknowledged Wednesday. What's up, Wednesday? It's Monday, but, I hope you're having a good day regardless. But, yeah, they probably are going for the Io thing. I just think Bayley has to turn face in the very near future. Wait, why do we put that comment down? There's no need to put that down. This would be the highlight of your fucking week, month. So might as well be over for you because what better?
Is that why it's starred?
Yeah, man, that's good for you, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Bro, JL has the same dog. That's amazing. That's adorable. You have a dog named Wednesday as well. That's so cool. That's fucking sick. Or do you guys share a dog? Is that what I'm getting here?
No.
Okay.
1 in a million here.
So the draft continues apparently at some point, even on this page that I'm getting the rundown from, because I didn't write notes for this episode. I feel like a round has gotten skipped. I feel like a lot of stuff's gotten skipped here on these notes.
I'll look it up.
But anyway,
Braun Strowman and Ricochet went against Alpha Academy at some point.
Yeah.
At some point.
No, this did happen, but this was a fun match because Chad Gable's fantastic. Yo, you know what's funny? Back in like March, remember back in those days where it was like 50 degrees out and, you didn't know whether you should wear a jacket or just a hoodie out. Nothing like today in May where you wear a jacket in the morning and then you don't wear the jacket by the end of the day when you leave work. There was all these reports that Chad Gable was in for this big push after Mania, and he was going to get a lot of wins and get a little push as a singles guy. And you know how he's lost every match going into and coming out of Mania, like every single one, including the one against Mustafa Ali, who's even further down the card than Gable is. You remember that story? And this is why, you got to take every story with a pinch of salt and sometimes just laugh at ones. Bro, Ricochet really does have no personality. It is crazy.
Cool
he's so good. Yeah, no, he's fantastic. Everything else about him is great. He has a good look, great ability, great.
He never recovered when Drew told him to shut up. Like, he literally just never recovered. He took it to heart, and his personality has been timid, high flyer.
He's also now friends with the worst person on the roster, so it doesn't really help matters.
Yeah. I didn't know he was friends with Lacey Evans. That's weird.
I was gonna say Jimmy Uso.
Oh, nice. Look at that. Bro, honestly, I actually like his team with Braun, though. It's like grown on me a bit.
I like oddball teams, you know? Like, I like teams that don't make sense. I think it's made
Braun more likable. It's softened him a little bit. And he's doing good. He's doing some good work in the tag division because he's not squashing the tag division as a single star. It turns out.
You remember
he
when
really
he
should have just been in the which time, bro? Like
no. Well, yeah. When he came back this time, he just destroyed the entire tag division on his first day.
Yeah.
Wasn't that like Triple H's first week or some shit?
Yeah.
It was up there. It was it was in the beginning.
First month at the very least.
Yes. But this was a fun match. I like both these teams, surprisingly. But yeah, Chad Gable literally, I don't think has won a match since maybe February he won a match, but I'm just guessing. Probably not on at this point. But yeah, fun match. Round 2 of the draft. Or do you guys have any comments on the match?
It was weird to me to see them basically doing the same tag finisher as Liv and Raquel. You know, like tall guy holding the smaller person on the shoulders for a high flying move. Like 2 matches in a row. If this match happened right after, I don't even know.
It did.
Okay, yeah. So
good point.
No, go ahead.
There was not a lot of coordination in the booking of those 2 matches.
Gotcha. Yeah, I get that. Producer boy, any comments on the match?
The both of them have been pretty prominent over the past few weeks, so I'm assuming they're getting a title shot or the titles, but I don't know how they get there if they're keeping them on Sammy and Kevin, but are they keeping them on Sammy and Kevin? Because I keep seeing how they're going to split up already. I think
that's a red herring. I don't think they're splitting up. I don't think they're splitting up.
I think who's splitting up, Kevin and Sammy?
Not anytime
soon.
What?
Dude, what are you talking about?
I don't know. I haven't been watching enough, but every time I go on Twitter, they're like, is Kevin going to turn on Sammy already? Is that what they're going for? And I'm like, what?
No, that's not.
That's the storyline that the Usos
You're reading tweets from 12-year-olds, bro. Like, fucking look at the profile for a second. But speaking of round 2 of the draft, Raw picks the tag champs Kevin Owens and Samuel Zayn, and that's cool. And you know what? If they did a Braun and Ricochet versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, that's something that I don't think this would necessarily be good, but you could at least draw from the bad history that Braun has with both of those guys. And, you get some funny segments out of that, something fun out of there. I'd be kind of into that. SmackDown picked the Usos, so all that drama doesn't matter. It was all over. You could have made them free agents, which is, oh my God. Real quick tangent.
Let's get through the round and then tangent it.
Sure. Raw picked Judgment Day. SmackDown picked the LW. Why'd you pick LWO? They never win matches. SmackDown has really botched this draft. But anyway, there are free agents, right? Like Omos is a free agent. Lesnar's a free agent. That one I'm not going to nitpick because it's Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, it makes it. Brock makes sense to me. Yeah.
They're going to want him to fight a SmackDown guy next and probably whatever. But then why did Trish get drafted? Anyway, this is dumb. We have free agents. But now it's like people who aren't drafted. So like Mustafa Ali was bafflingly not drafted. And so he's this free agent who go to the show. That's not how it's if you're undrafted, you should be trying to win a spot on a show like Heath Slater style,
Yeah.
But like instead it's just like it's almost like, well, now you don't want to be drafted, right? Because you just be on both shows. Like what? That's
double the payday, double the exposure.
So dumb. So also, why can't Cody just be like, fuck it, I want to go for the title? How are you going to have a hard and fast brand split and then immediately push that back? And if you're going to do that, why can't your champions float? Why can't Roman float? Why can't Sammy and Kevin Owens float? Which, by the way, they're saying this. I guarantee they float. But that was so dumb. And Triple H tried his freaking best. to make it sound like it made sense, but it just.
Do you think like he
Just
comes
weird.
out and he knows that none of it makes any sense? Is any of this his idea, or is it like
So the second title was his idea.
right? But I'm sure the second title was always because I think months ago it was like he came up with a new design or whatever. But do we know if like it was his idea to? Well, yeah, you're right. The article that you are about to talk about is he likes to split titles.
Yeah, I think he. Yeah, I think he wants a hard Raw list of champions, a hard SmackDown list of champions, but he's being hamstrung by the bloodline stuff, and we'll see. It feels weird to have baby faces holding both sets of belts because then it really limits who makes sense to face them for the titles.
I agree. This is not a Vince thing. This is a bad Triple H decision because he makes a good amount of those. All right, let's not all look at him through our black and gold tinted glasses, you know. Let's look at him through our color splash tinted glasses for what he is, a guy who makes bad decisions. But anyway, yeah, there we go. We're gonna move on. Blah blah blah. Brock Lesnar comes out before round 3. Round 3 is about to kick off. Brock Lesnar comes out. He's like, nope. No one told me the runtime, so I'm just gonna go out now. And he says, Texas, I'm a cowboy. You're not something, whatever. And then Cody's music hits. All the security's out there. There's like 20 security guards. Cody's music hits. Brock's looking up the ramp. They film it in that way where you know he's coming in from behind.
They really did telegraph it.
Yep. And Cody does come from behind, shockingly, and he punches Brock in the face. And Brock falls and rolls out of the ring, gets the fuck out of there. And security is just like holding Cody back. And that's that. And it was fine. James hated it. You want to rant about it a bit, buddy? I'll give you the floor. Me and producer boy will leave you alone for a bit.
Oh, did you guys just go? This is weird, but okay, I'll take it. I have been a big supporter of Cody since he came back at Mania. I have been rooting for him, and I have been cheering him, and I've been seeing what the fans have been seeing. This is the first night where I thought I'm good. I'm good. I'm done. I grew up on Super Cena. I know what a superhero in wrestling should look like. Cody, despite wanting to be Homelander, isn't that guy. And one punch sending Brock Lesnar flying out of the ring and not even really putting in effort to come back. That wasn't it. I don't want to resent Cody, but stuff like this is gonna make me resent Cody, and I don't want any more of that. I'm not saying he needs to look like a pussy, but he does not need to look like a guy who could one-shot Brock Lesnar out of the ring. That could never, nor should it ever be Cody Rhodes. This is the man who jobbed out, who got squashed by Mr. Brody Lee. That guy is still very much the guy in WWE today. So, no, thank you. Don't want to see that. No more of that. And please come back. I miss you guys.
You probably should have been a little more fiery about it, but that, especially because the floor was all yours there. But I understand. I also think he didn't like lay him out. He just caught him off guard and knocked him off his feet. And Brock Lesnar was like, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna leave." And they left.
And I get that aspect of it, but on some level, like we've seen bigger and badder guys giving Brock a shot and him just not even selling it. And I get it. You're right. It was a surprise shot, but a surprise shot from Cody should still not be stronger than a straight up jab to the face from like Roman Reigns or Braun Strowman or almost anybody else. So it really did, like, I'm all for the immersion. I'm all for the suspension of disbelief. That wasn't it for me. And I'm the Cody guy here.
Okay. Oh, cool. I don't know if I can do that or not. Anyway, sorry. Just live producing over here. But it was fine. It was an okay go home angle. Producer boy, do you have any notes on this? Whoa, get me out of here. I'm hosting over here.
I had stopped. What? Go ahead.
Wait, why do you not want to be in this corner?
Just because I'm hosting, and also because my camera kind of blocks that square, and I want to see your guys' faces.
Okay.
But anyway, producer boy, you had thoughts, opinions, or
I had stopped watching prior to this. James kind of made me not want to watch it, so I didn't watch after that.
Okay, gotcha. Moving on.
Whoops.
Round 3, Raw selected the women's tag champs Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, who also should have to float because they're champions. It's weird that you explain the free agent thing, but not that the tag champs should be floating, but whatever. SmackDown picked Asuka. Round 3, Asuka, classic Asuka. Going to SmackDown, sure, freshen things up. Also noteworthy, this happened on Friday, but this is the first draft where Miz didn't switch shows like he does every fucking draft.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
That's the most history he's ever made, no, honestly. But Raw picked the New Day, but just Kofi and Wood, which means maybe he isn't as close to coming back as people were hoping, or maybe they just want it to be a big surprise when it's official. And SmackDown picked the Brawling Brutes, which is cool. Maybe they could have used a freshen up by changing, but Gunther's on Raw, so keep them apart. Good to know that Sheamus will never win the Intercontinental title. I'm very happy about that. He deserves it, but that's the kind of heartbreak I want to happen.
So you're willing to sacrifice Sheamus for
absolutely.
For drama? Okay.
Absolutely. And he's committed to the craft. He understands. He'll take it on the chin, or on the chest in this case. But yeah, that's it. We had Matt Riddle versus Jimmy Uso. I don't give a fuck about this match. I'm not gonna lie to you. Drunk Uso tried to cheat, and it backfired because Kevin Owens and Sammy were on the outside, and Sammy distracted the ref, and Kevin Owens bopped Jimmy's head on the exposed turnbuckle, which is fine. I don't mind babyfaces cheating against heels that always cheat, and giving them, a taste of their own medicine. And usually commentary does a decent job of making note of that. But man, you know what else I would like? I said this earlier with the Bailey stuff, but I would have loved a promo after this where, Kevin and Sam are just like, it's really nice having the numbers advantage and being in a 3-on-1 situation. I think I see where you guys do that all the time, like just something hamming it up a little bit, and really driving that point over the top, because it's one thing to hear these things from commentary, but when commentary is as bad as it is right now, no offense, Kevin Patrick, you seem like a nice guy, but you're not good at this. And, Corey's only as good as the person he has to bounce off of. So it's not the best pairing right now. It'd be nice to hear that from the wrestlers, but the match itself, it happened. I'm glad Riddle won a match. This guy's been back for a while now, and I feel like this is the first match he won. So good for him. Any comments, notes? Moving on. Cool. We had Miz TV with Shinsuke Nakamura next. God, I'm so glad Nakamura's on Raw. I'm so glad.
Yep.
This is one where I really hope Triple H reboots him and pushes him to the moon. I want to see him versus Gunther. And if Nakamura's the one to dethrone him down the line after he breaks Honky Tonk Man's record, I'd be cool with that. Okay, cool. James, I was offended by what I said clearly, and that's understandable. I get it.
Big Nakamura fan.
Yeah, that's understandable. But yeah, and Miz tried to do some of his bad Miz comedy. Nakamura taught him how to say he has tiny balls in Japanese. And then he beat the Miz up, and that was that. You loved this, right?
I think it's safe to say Triple H just hates the Miz, and now that he's got control, he can just shit on him all the time. I'm all for it.
Same. I'm very glad. Miz is getting what he deserves. He's getting the TV time he deserves.
He's getting TV time.
But he's being
literally getting
treated
beat up every night, which is great. I don't care.
Yeah, that's what he's good at. It's not even like I don't even mean it completely disparagingly, but that is his strong suit, you know. And then we had round 4 of the draft where Raw picked. That was. I guess that's kind of funny. Raw picked Trish Stratus. Why is she eligible for the draft? Why is she not just also a free agent?
Why is anybody eligible for the draft if we got free agents? We got everyone on both shows anyway.
Yeah, it made no sense. And then also, she's picked in the 4th fucking round. She's a Hall of Famer, like. But that will fuel the story with her and Becky, where Becky was picked in the 1st round and Trish was picked in the 4th. So that will add to the story. But why is she eligible for the draft at all?
It's also just very frustrating that a lot of these guys who were already stuck on one show for the past year are now being drafted to the same show that they've already been a part of. Trish hasn't been on SmackDown since she returned.
That's a problem with the format of the draft itself, where it's like the draft used to be they would only tell you when people were switching cells, and that was the announcement, that was the hype thing. But now they're doing it like, oh, every person has to be drafted to the show. It's like, but 90% of it's people being not drafted. They're just staying on the show they're already on. So like maybe it's weird. The old way they did it was kind of better. Or
all they need to do is just switch the mid-card champions, and that's the end of the draft. You don't need to draft all these random ass people. Switch the mid cards to both shows, and then just introduce new characters from NXT. You don't need to.
I mean, that's essentially what they did do, though. But it just felt
But my point is,
special.
Yeah, but like you don't need announcements for like Seth Rollins staying on Raw and Roman staying on SmackDown. Like, you know, like that's why like. It's weird to say, but the Superstar Shakeup was a better format than this. Where it's like, here's the entrance of the person that's here now. Get excited. Whereas like now it's just like, here's a graphic and their music, and the cheers aren't as loud as the person coming out. And it's like, but you can't do that when you're drafting every fucking person.
Yeah.
And then when you do like this, then the other people get drafted on the post show, and that makes them feel lesser than automatically. I'm like, bro, why wasn't Zoe Stark drafted on the show? Why was she drafted on the post show? Like that was lame. But you know, it's things like that. Like this, it doesn't make sense. But real quick, just to say, SmackDown picked Karrion Kross and Scarlett because they're hell bent on making the worst possible draft picks for this episode.
They don't check vaccine cards on SmackDown.
They do Fox. Not. Yeah, it's a Fox. Hey, someone's got to replace Tucker. You know, there's a hole to fill there. Raw picked Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey because the women's tag titles on Raw, I guess. So cool. Ronda Rousey being picked in the 4th round.
Right. What, Eric?
I was saying, can you imagine 2 of those? 2 women's titles, tag titles?
Oh my god.
They don't have it. They just can't do it.
Well, the NXT titles are on SmackDown. They might.
Shit.
And what's even crazier is the challengers also got drafted to the main roster.
Yeah.
So that's just stupid.
They shouldn't have broken up Toxic Attraction, is what I'm taking from this. And then SmackDown picked LA Knight, who I actually kind of wish got to Raw because he's really won me over, and I don't get to see him.
Yeah.
SmackDown.
Another guy who's been on SmackDown for the past year and a half. What the fuck was
the guy who definitely needed the change after never winning matches on SmackDown?
Absolutely. Can I just say one thing about this? Because sure. I agree. This was such a boring draft over the 2 days. If they're going to commit to it and they're just saying, look, these guys are these guys, these guys are these guys, that's fine. We've had enough floating around that as long as they're now saying this is this roster, this is this roster, I'm fine if they make those guys feel valuable. If you got drafted on TV, I want to feel like they're going to be doing something important. You know, it's what separates an LA Knight from, I don't think he got drafted on TV. It's what celebrates an LA Knight from a Johnny Gargano. You know? So as long as they're committing to this and next year they do the Superstar shakeup instead, I think it was just a necessary evil to get us to 2 world champions and 2 like full rosters. But man, I could have just one big nice shakeup would have been nice. And did Drew get drafted anywhere?
Don't.
He did, but I don't remember where it was.
He got drafted the Raw and SmackDown, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, he did because I think him and Bobby were like the picks that went.
Gotcha.
Which I guess is a good sign.
Yeah, that's good.
For him staying, not leaving.
I mean, it's one where they can't. I don't think they would make him sit out for the rest of the time there. I think they'll put him. That's one where they'll put him in stories to be like, "Hey, stay," and maybe he'll stay, maybe he'll go. I kind of want him to go because
I do too.
You know, he's made a name for himself outside before. He can do it again.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if he was at Wembley, if that's possible.
I don't think it is, but I hope, somehow keep hoping it is, because Roderick Strong appeared, and there was always the Malachi Black incident.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing in terms of Drew, one of the big rumors is his contract will be up in July. And if that's the case, he won't have a no-compete clause because the contract just ran out. It reached its normal end.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and if anything, he can always, go to Triple H and be like, hey, I know I got this time here left on my contract, but my son's wrestling on AEW Dark, and I really want to be there to watch his development. Be there for him. I won't be an on-screen character or anything, something along those lines to help him get over there quicker. But let's see. I've somehow run out of notes. This thing didn't update in time. I don't remember what's happening after this in the main event. So we're just going to go to the main event. It was round 5 of the draft where Alpha Academy got drafted to Raw. And I don't remember who else got drafted. Shotzi got drafted to the show she's already on. And yeah, that's all I can remember. So we're going to talk about the main event. The main event was bullshit. It ended.
You don't want to talk about Omos versus Anthony Alanis?
Oh my God. Thank you for reminding me. How can I forget? Double A, Anthony Alanis, stealing the show here. Okay. So moving on.
Wait. Keep going. Keep talking about Anthony Alanis.
No, what happened after this? You have all the banners up. So what happened after this?
Okay. Well, after this, it was the Judgment Day versus LWO.
Oh, there we go. Actually, I didn't hate this. It wasn't great, but I didn't hate it either. So Judgment Day come out, they cut a promo, and they're like, of course, Rhea was drafted first. She's the best, and they're kind of right. Fair point. When you're right, heels. And then oh, my dad's running away to SmackDown because he's a coward. And it's like, yeah, you said that a few months ago when he got traded to SmackDown, which I guarantee there'll be a trade in 3 months time between Raw and SmackDown. But anyway, they're just gonna keep trading Baron Corbin back and forth to each other. But
he's still a free agent.
Yeah, see, he's the only one that should have not been drafted.
Yep.
He's the guy that should have not. Oh God, this was so easy. This was so easy. But anyway, they're like, yeah, whatever. We're the best. Finn's like, yeah, I should have won a Mania. This is fucking bullshit. This guy's not even here. He hasn't been here since Mania. I've been here every week, and I'm the one who had fucking 14 staples in my head. But Rey Mysterio and the LWO come out, and they're like, hey, we're going to beat you, even though we've never won a match ever as the LWO, and we're the worst faction ever. He might have. I mean, it's not a lot of stiff competition. If you're into squash matches, I guess there was entertainment in it. Yeah, they had a match, fun match. It would have been bad to pin Rhea, but maybe, yeah, see, the thing is, just pin Dom and have the LWO get a win so anyone could believe that these guys can win.
But
you need Priest to look good going into Saturday. That's the thing.
No, you don't. They've never made him look good before this. They don't have to pretend now. Okay. Dude is undefeated in zombie matches. What more does he need?
Valid point.
Yeah. So, but fun match for what it was. I like mixed tags for some reason. So every time they pop up, I'm so into it. I like the Rhea got in Ray's face because I'm like, yeah, you can beat this guy up. I still believe that. And she was hitting everyone. It had its moments. Zelina got some shine. She was dressed like someone. I don't know who. I couldn't figure it out off the top of my head. I'm not that much of a nerd, or I'm not a good nerd in that case. But
James, who was she dressed up as?
I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm not a weeb.
Yeah. Anyway, the babyfaces won. Whatever. It was decent though. Like, fine. Go home angle. The heels win. They all have credibility. I mean, Priest is gonna lose. Rhea's gonna win. So yeah, did you guys have opinions, or can we go to the main event?
Only. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's not about the match, but it was about Ray. I mean, Dominic.
How much heat he has when he's on the mic?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. I'm already thinking about who the title goes to after whoever beats Roman loses to Dom because of how much heat he's got. Honestly, Dom is the perfect person at some point to win the Money in the Bank and then steal the title from somebody. He's the perfect person to do that.
Dom is everything we wanted Austin Theory to be.
I was just gonna say that in a world where Dom exists, Austin Theory is just floundering.
Dude, James mentioned this idea before, and I thought it was fucking stupid. But if they did it with Dom, I think it would be amazing. Which is whoever beats Roman just gets cashed in on that fucking night, that day. If that was Dom, like he would be the biggest heel of all time.
Yep.
But also, I don't know how you would, how you would continue that, how you would like continue the storyline after that happened. But
yeah,
that moment was insane.
I'm just going to address Jay's comment real quick. They will not even make it close to the Rumble.
Yeah,
They'll be disbanded like a month after this pay-per-view. Like, it is. They're not long for this universe.
I think now that the Judgment Day stuff is over, once they get through Backlash and they're going to get to, Jesus Christ. Once we get through them being baby faces in Puerto Rico, I think they turn on Ray.
Sure. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
But just the one thing I would like to say about the match, I feel like we're definitely going to get a Ray Dom rematch at some point where Dom finally beats his dad, right?
What don't they have to do it on Sunday or Saturday? Otherwise, they can't. Because
no, I'm talking down. I'm talking down the line.
We're not gonna, we don't dare disobey the rules of the brand split. Okay, so this is just never gonna happen. Two ships passing the night. But anyway. The main event saw Solo Sikoa take on Seth freaking Rollins in a match that was fun, but at the end it was so bad it just ended in DQ. And it's like, just have Seth win. He's going into a big, in the most literal sense, match with Omos, and he's going to be your first champ. Have him fucking win. Just have him win. It's okay to beat Solo a second time and to just let him get the momentum. Let him get the big win. The guy's going to be your first champ. Why? I understand we're protecting Solo, right? And we've done a great job of that. Him losing to the two top baby faces in the company is very, very okay. This did not need to end in the DQ. This was dumb. If you didn't want to pin Solo, don't have the match. It was that simple.
And
like, this was the most Vince thing ever, and I guarantee this was also because Triple H is no better. He has the same mentality about so many of these things.
And I think you could have even done it in a way that builds further stress with him and the Usos, because that conversation he had with Jay in the back could have rattled him. Like, that's the story that it could be, that his head wasn't completely in it, because the interaction with Jay and Paul, and I agree. You could protect him still with losing. You could really build a lot more with a loss sometimes than with a win. So it was dumb. It was dumb to have the match end the way it did.
Yeah, I didn't like this, and then ended with the brawl because Riddle, Owens, and Zayn came out and they brawled, and cool. Whatever. Overall, on a scale of scale of 1 to 4, I give it a 1.5.
That's exactly what I would give it to.
Yeah, producer boy, I assume you'd give it a 0.5. Am I somewhere in the ballpark there?
The entire show, absolutely yes.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I'm not even gonna say that you're wrong for that. So, good job. Backlash. We got to talk how we're gonna do predictions, but we'll figure that out Wednesday. We're not gonna have a pitch meeting live on the air.
We should have the pitch meeting right now.
Okay, so like I was saying earlier about having being in the boardrooms for the Raw and SmackDown board who are picking these draft picks, right? So you guys have suits, right? I assume, James, you're loaded, so you can just buy a suit. Doesn't matter. But producer boy, you have a suit, right?
I don't.
You don't have a
Do you
suit?
really not have a suit?
I have a blazer.
Okay, that's I know. You know, it's fair because you know what, there would definitely be people just with blazers and like a little more dressed down. All right, yeah, that's good enough. We can work with what we got.
Okay.
And this is WWE, so you could do a blazer and a wrestling shirt because they'd probably do some branding shit like that.
Yeah.
So we're backstage at the pitch meeting and we're just racking our brains. And if you go for almost like a Charlie Kelly with the board behind him kind of look, freaking out about things, if you can go for that sort of look with your hair, get a little messy, that would be great. And we're trying to figure out, we have this list, right? We have this perfect game pitch. Like, okay, we have every pick perfect, but we don't get the first pick. SmackDown gets the first pick. And our whole thing fucking crumbles, and we're scrambling now to find a new pick order because we just weren't prepared. We were too stoned or whatever the night before. We didn't think about the idea of them picking one of our picks, and that's we work from there. We'll write in some jokes because we're funny people, or at least I'm funny people, and I understand our characters very well. You missed the whole show.
No, he was in the beginning, or they were in the beginning.
No, I know. I know. You know it. He was just a good stream, and we had a decent stream. So you know what? We owe thank you. You know it. And yeah, so that's the pitch meeting. Do you guys have any ideas to add in for now, or do we have? We got to punch this up obviously a lot. But.
Yeah. No, I'll brainstorm a bit. I'll brainstorm a bit for the pitch.
Are you committed to your guys' facial hair? Are you willing to work? Actually, Eric, you're good. You got just a mustache. You look like you'd be in an 80s character in modern times. Like somehow this calls for. James, how are you feeling? Any physical changes you're willing to make for this?
I mean, I feel like I've already done so much for this pod, but what can I do? What would you have me do?
I don't know. It was a workshop. Like, is a handlebar out of the question?
It's not there. It's not there yet. It's not there yet. Like I would do it. But it's not quite there yet.
Okay. Good to know.
Breaking news though. Alicia Fox is no longer with the WWE.
I know, that's crazy.
Anyways.
Cool.
I just pulled the Nick.
Her and the Garcia twins are gonna show up in AEW.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That'll
Team
sell
Bella.
out.
Team Bella.
You guys look. You guys look like three stoners who built a hot AI and now she's trying to kill y'all. That's not a bad. You want to write that too? We can work on multiple things. That's something there. We can brainstorm that.
Can we type something into ChatGPT and have him just finish the rest of the pod?
I mean, not on this pod, but that is an idea I have been thinking about. But okay, so we're three stoners. You two smoke a lot of weed. I really don't, but I'll start doing it for the sake of the story.
To that headline, to that tweet, fuck off. I don't believe it for a second.
Yeah, how long do we have to wait for the Triple H era? Like, bro, that's fucking. That's bullshit.
It's coming, guys. I swear, it's coming.
But yeah, James, watch your mouth, bro. I'm the heart and soul of this pod. Like, fun fact for you guys: I named this podcast, by the way. Producer boy brought us together, but I named the podcast, and I came up with the original logo. I didn't make the original logo, but it was my idea. And yeah, so we wouldn't be here without two of the three people here.
Wait, what did I say? What did I say that was against you, Danny?
I don't remember.
I don't even know what I did.
But yeah, so we're here because of look, everyone plays their part. Okay, James is the rich person, in the group, and he badgers the most people about the podcast. Rev took over for our producer David, who didn't want to be associated with us because he was embarrassed to know us, but that's okay. Like, it's understandable. So he does a lot of he puts the episodes together. Chad, so everyone has a part they play here on the pod.
Don't forget Nick.
Oh yeah, Nick. Hey, Nick Maniotis has been in about as many episodes as Chad lately. Nick Maniotis likes everyone. That's his shtick. Yeah, everyone plays a part here, but I named the pod, so I am kind of the leader in that regard. But anyway, do you guys have any other comments, notes, concerns?
Backlash feels so filler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, James, are we going to your house? Are we doing a live?
Possibly. I think so. I think we can. I think we're good.
Cool.
And to answer Iron Lion, well, that's actually kind of based off of what happened on SmackDown. Why does HBK look and act like he doesn't give a shit about things? It's entirely because, like, the story was he was mentally broken on SmackDown when all of his NXT women got drafted, and he was just so unhappy with it. So this is kind of like a recurring thread.
You're right, Chad. I am too kind to give credit. I'm sort of humble in that regard, I'm just a given person in all senses of the phrase. But yeah, Iron Lion, welcome to the stream late. We're kind of over the show. It wasn't really a noteworthy show, but we somehow managed to go an hour about it, which is kind of our MO here on the pod. We kind of take a 35-minute show and turn it into an hour 20, like, pretty consistently.
We're riffing.
Yeah, we're riffing. We're waxing, philosophical or poetic.
Yep.
Yeah, I like to think a little column A, a little column B.
James, have you ever heard the term waxing before?
Oh, I've done it. It ain't fun.
That's not what I was. All right. Okay, anyway,
look, Producer Boy, despite having written actual scripts that got turned into actual films and working on multiple sets, has never heard the term waxing in terms of, like, jibber jabbering or chatting, or like I said, waxing poetic or philosophical. Very not super common phrases, but common enough where you should have heard wax poetic or wax philosophical before. So you just put that into, you change the tense of the verb there, and you're waxing, philosophical or otherwise, which is kind of what I just did here for you guys. But on that note, we are going to go home because James has a doctor's appointment tomorrow he's got to get to, so it's very important, and then he's got a TV show pilot to pitch, so it's going to be fun. Follow us on social media. Have a good night. Goodbye, Jay and other people.